Well, hello, I'm Autumn Casiglia, and I'm also a marriage and family therapist and a pastor's wife, and I enjoy research and Bible teaching. But today I'm going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl that lived in a green carpeted room with yellow walls. She had red hair and green eyes, and she loved to make mud pies and climb trees way up as high as she could and read Little House on the Prairie. She stole her mother's spoons and pretended she was a famous archaeologist on a dig. She wanted to believe in happily ever after and fairy tales. She was thirsty for more. Once upon a time, that same girl, who now lived in a room with pink carpet and a white eyelet canopy bed, counted the flowers on that eyelet canopy bed until she could finally fall asleep. Her dreams had now become nightmares. She would steal her daddy's clothes and cover up the pain and the shame. She wanted the fear, the manipulation, and the threats to end. She was thirsty for more, and she wanted to believe in trusted best friends. Once upon a time, that same little girl grew up. She lived in a small house with a big dog, and she now had children of her own, one with big brown eyes and one with big green eyes. And they built cardboard kingdoms, and they helped her to steal back her childhood and her joy. And now she wanted to believe in a safe world where 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 8 boys are not molested by the time they're 18 years old. She was thirsty for more, but now she was thirsty for them. Once upon a time, in a small town, a woman who had been exploited, marginalized, and rejected came to a well thirsty. And she met a kind man with gentle eyes, and he asked her for a drink. Was he talking to her? Had anyone ever talked to her with this level of worth? Was he asking for a drink? He was going to make himself impure by drinking after her. Was it possible that this man was really spending time with her? He said to her, if you knew the gift of God and he who had asked you for a drink, you would ask him for living water, and he would give it. Those that drink this drink will thirst again, but those that drink the drink that I will give them will never thirst again. That drink will well up in them a spring of living water, and it will become eternal life. Do you know today that you can have eternal life? That God wants to quench your thirst and give you something that nothing in this world could ever satisfy. He wants to give you himself. He wants to give you freedom from sin, from shame, and from fear. He wants to set you free. Once upon a time, in a small church, this red-haired girl found her happily ever after, her best friend. And he told me, I'm forgiven, set free, and loved, and that I can be satisfied by him.
Autumn, thank you so much. Very powerful. I loved how you wove the story of the woman at the well into your own story with this repetitive phrase of this thirst for more. Because I think that's what connects with every person, regardless of who they are, is that they are thirsty for more. And so it left me wanting to say, okay, what's happening with the little girl? What's happening? And then you take her to the well, and then you take her back to the church and really meet the source of living water. And so for an evangelistic message especially, very powerful. And the vulnerability that I sensed from that just really connected with the truth of the text. It's one thing to read it, but it's a different thing to see it incarnated through your own story so that it comes out with this authenticity that's just power and magnetic. So thank you very much, Autumn. Great job.